Hello and welcome back to the lead pile. Now in this video, it's another video where we're blethering about hobbying. So for this update, I've got a confession to make. I've not actually been painting very much. Life's gotten in the way. I've started a new job. I'm still trying to finish off the PhD in the evenings. There's just not enough hours in the day. And I'm not getting stuff painted. Now the one thing I have painted recently, you may have seen, was the Wild West, kind of Sam Elliott inspired Captain Shea, and that was really good fun. I love painting cowboys. You can kind of just have fun with them, and that's the first of a series of cowboy miniatures that I am looking to paint up. But again, 28mm models take a bit longer to paint. You want to do the detail and the highlights. So that took a couple of weeks actually. Not full on painting, I'm not like dedicated to that level. But just, you know, an hour a night here and there. But that was good fun. So, because I don't have anything to show you that I've been painting, I can show you things that I've been buying. Which I bought about a couple of months ago. So this is what I got from the Joy of Six, and it is of course more of the spectacular MDF figures from Commission Figurines. So in this video I'm going to be showing you exactly what they are, in case you are interested yourselves in them. So this is what you get. It is a pack like this, and it contains a command strip, 7 center companies, 2 voltigeurs, and 2 grenadiers in shako. That's for French line, and you can see them all here in MDF, and all of that costs about £2, £2.20, something like that, which is insanely good value. And you'll have seen these are the things that I've been painting up in my Napoleonic uniform series, and I basically decided to buy a whole lot more because they're really cheap and they look great when they're painted up and based. That really gives you the mass battle feeling that you want from 6mm on a budget. So without further ado, I've got some Russians, some Prussians, and some Austrians. So let's have a look. Okay, so here is a good example of some of the models that I've already painted up. You'll have seen these from our previous videos. We've got some Neuchâtel, some Polish, some Danish, some Dutch, etc. And they are MDF. So when you look at them side on, yep, that's what you're seeing. They're flat, but they're not too flat. For 6mm, you can get away with things being pretty flat, but when you look at them front on, you know, that's how flat they are. But front on, you really do. I mean, there are etchings or engravings there of cross belts and the like, which, you know, depending on which uniform you're painting, you could paint those in. I obviously haven't in this example, but if you know, had a whole row of these based together. Now, obviously, for the sake of my little display pieces here, I've just got one stand of 4 per base, but you know, you could have 2, 3, 4 on that size base quite easily, and you'd get a massive effect of thousands of models on a small 3x3 gaming board. So the models themselves are really nice, very easy to paint, with a nice undercoat. I undercoat them white because it lets me pick out that detail in the evening when I'm painting with under the torchlight. And you know, it's a blank canvas for you to paint on whatever you want. So this is like, you know, these are the same models, and on this one I've painted the cross belt, on this one I haven't. Same figures. But enough about that, because we want to look at the ones I have here. So, French line marching. Okay. 6mm MDF figures from Commissioned Figurines. Check them out. They have a website. You can also find them on Facebook, and you can get a look at their catalogue of what they have and the prices. Now, I paid for these. This is not a sponsored video. I genuinely like them, and that is why I've spent money on them. So this is genuine review and feedback. So pull them off, pull them out, and you know, if I move those off of there, now what you'll see is we have also got in here, remember, the drums. They come separate for your command stand. Now here we have the long plumes on the hats there, the voltigeurs, and the line infantry. So as you can see, these come as strips of 8. Now what I do is I have strips of 4, so I just cut them there, and they cut dead easy. In fact, you could even just peel them apart like that quite easily. Now obviously they are made of MDF, so if they've got plumes and things on, you've got to be careful with them, but the way the hobby's going, that's just the same with a resin 3D printed model as well. You've got to be careful with bits. Even metal, you've got to be careful with bayonets and things. But as you can see, these are the same model. So there it is, without any paint on at all, fresh. Nice smell of wood to them. And there they are with some paint on. Now, the back, for these guys, you can see them with their blanket and their canteen and everything on the back, and their backpacks. Now it's a bit rougher, the back, because of all of the etching that's gone on, engraving. So what I often find is I just apply, when I'm base coating these by hand, which is what I often do. You can spray them, I just do them by hand. I water it down a bit more because it does soak up more. But there you go, there's the French. So again, for something ridiculous like £2.20 or something, you're getting all of these models here, and they look really nice. And as I've shown in a previous video, they match up really well with Bacchus. So what I've seen people do as well is they'll have Bacchus figures with, you know, their more 3D dimensional figures made of metal in the front row, and some of these guys just in the back to kind of add depth to the base. So they can fill out mass units, basically. There we go, there are more of them. And I think they look very good. So, these are the French. Oh, apologies. That was the voltigeurs. And these guys here are your command strip, I believe. So your drums, you can just dab a glue and glue them on. Okay, lovely jubbly. Okay, and here are those minis with some paint on them, compared to the Bacchus models on the right. So obviously the Bacchus models have more of a dynamic pose. How close can I get with this? You can see that on the models, and that's because of the fact they are obviously more defined. However, these guys do the job perfectly well there. That is a really simple paint job. They are flat, so it's a lot quicker to paint them as well. The brushwork is dead easy. As you can see, I've just painted them blue, and I've used the cross belt there just to denote the change from blue to white. Obviously that's not necessarily how you would traditionally paint them. You could just paint the entire top blue and the bottom half white. You'd get away with that at this scale. But there we go, that's what they look like front on. If you want to look at them side on, obviously you'll have a bit of a difference there compared to these guys side on, and the back as well. But I think for the price, you know, a bag of these for £2 something, and you're getting a lot of minis there. But like I say, I have seen people do this as well, where they excuse my fingers, where they line up like that. Now there is a bit of a height difference when you see them like that, but that's because, if you'll notice, the backers models are slightly bent over. I would just need to straighten them out and base them up on the same size of a base, but they would work perfectly well. The camera is at a bit of an angle there, but yeah, that would work really well. There isn't the definition on the hat, the shako, to the same degree, but again, you could paint that in if you so wish. But you know, as gaming pieces, as miniatures, I think they do a really nice job. So I hope you found this useful. If you're considering getting into 6mm, there are plenty of options for you to choose. If you just want to try it out, then these 6mm MDF models work perfectly well. Or if you want to boost your pre-existing collection of Bacchus, Heroics and Ross, Rapier, Grumbler, etc., Irregular, Ardler, you know, there are lots of options. Adler, not Ardler. So hopefully this can help inspire you to start your own 6mm project and get those dice rolling. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again real soon.